Okay, again, so we are going to discuss infinite limits and limits at infinity. So first, we're going to define indeterminate form, another indeterminate form, and this is indeterminate form infinity over infinity. When do we say that a quotient takes the form of indeterminate form infinity over infinity? By infinity over infinity here means negative infinity over infinity, positive infinity over negative infinity, any combination, okay? As long as infinite. So the sign does not matter here. So all of them take indeterminate form infinity over infinity. The quotient of the form f of x over q of x has an indeterminate form infinity over infinity at a if the limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to either positive infinity or negative infinity. And also the limit of the denominator g of x as x approaches a is either positive infinity or negative infinity also. And also, we say that the limit of f of x over g of x as x approaches a takes the form, the indeterminate form infinity over infinity at a. Okay? So that is what we mean by indeterminate form infinity over infinity. So again, the numerator has what? Has a limit that is either positive infinity or negative infinity. The denominator also, the limit is either positive infinity or negative infinity. So if that is the case, this quotient takes the indeterminate form infinity over infinity at a, and also the limit takes the indeterminate form infinity over infinity. Okay? Then another important theorem that you have to know, so let's say this function f of x approaches 0 through positive values. Again, let's say f of x approaches 0 through positive values. And letter A, so this is number 1. A is, let's say C is positive, then this limit as x approaches A of C over f of x is equal to positive infinity. Okay guys, again, if the denominator as x approaches 0 um, approaches through positive values, through approaching 0 through positive values, as x approaches A, then, and C also, C is positive, then this quotient is what? The limit of this quotient is equal to positive infinity. Okay, guys? So, let's put here and as x approaches A, and yan. And letter B, if C is negative, that is a constant that is negative, then this limit as x approaches A of C over f of x is equal to negative infinity. Okay? So again, C is negative. The denominator is approaching 0, but through positive values, approaching 0 through positive values, then this quotient is what? Is negative infinity, that limit. Okay? Number 2, if f of x approaches 0 through negative values and as x approaches A and letter A, C is positive, then this limit of C over f of x as x approaches A is equal to negative infinity. Okay, guys? Did you get that, guys? If B, for letter B, if f of x approaches 0 through negative values as x approaches A, then, and of course, C is negative this time, then this limit of C over f of x as x approaches A is equal to positive infinity. So negative, negative, so positive infinity. This is going to be 0 through negative values. Okay, guys? Then, so let us have examples of this. No? Let's say we are asked to evaluate the following limits. Number 1, limit as x approaches 0 of 1 over x. So approaching 0, let's say from the left. Okay? So again, Mr. Officer, the denominator is approaching what? Approaching 0. Are you there, Mr.
Yes po.
Officer? So approaching 0 through what values?
Negative values po.
So negative. The numerator is positive. So what is this? We know that the limit is infinite, but what infinite? Negative or positive?
Negative po.
Negative infinity, no? So number 2, if I have limit as x approaches, let's say 0 from the right of -4 over, let's say, x. Mr. Kitangon. So the denominator is approaching 0 through what values?
Through positive values po.
Positive. So negative over positive. So we have
Negative infinity.
infinity. Okay, guys? Number 3. Do not substitute infinity, 0 here, ha? Do not write -4 over 0. Okay? May mga book, or may mga teacher that they use this for students to understand, no? Halimbawa, approaching 0 through positive values. Nilalagay nila rito, equals, then negative infinity. But let's just be formal. If you want to put that, just put it on the side, no? But do not include anymore here. Okay, guys? You just put it somewhere here. Let's say you have a guide, -4 over approaching 0 to positive values. So at least you just have a guide, then you write here negative infinity. Okay, guys? So just have a guide there on the right side. So what about if I have limit as x approaches, let's say 1, from the right of 1 over x squared, then minus 1. What about that? O, gawin natin 10 yung numerator. Okay? Sophia. Is Sophia there?
Yes po.
So what happens to the denominator? The denominator is what? The denominator is approaching what value?
Zero.
X is approaching 0, but in what direction? What sign? Through what?
Through positive values.
X squared minus 1 approaching 0 through positive, because 1 is, greater than 1. So when you square, it is greater than this, no? So the difference is expected to be positive. So approaching 0 through positive values. Since this denominator is approaching 0 through positive values, so we say that this is what, Sophia?
Positive infinity.
Positive infinity. Okay, guys? What about if you're asked of limit as x approaches 0 of 1 over x? Itangon. What about that?
Undefined po, sir. Not existent po pala. Does not exist.
So does not exist, no? Because we have this already, no? We obtained from 1 and 2 that the limit from the left is negative infinity. The limit from the right is negative infinity. Since they have the same, the limit from the right here is positive infinity, no? So they have different directions. Again, ang limit of 1 over x as x approaches 0 from the left is negative infinity. Limit from the right is positive infinity as x approaches 0 from the right. Therefore, it is, they don't have the same direction. So we simply write this: limit of 1 over x as x approaches 0 does not exist. Okay? So What about if I have number 4, limit as x approaches, let's say 2, of 3 over 3 over x minus 2 quantity squared. What about this? Capio. Is Capio there?
Hello po.
So, what happens sa x minus 2? It approaches what? As x approaches 2, it approaches 0, right?
Yes po.
So, since it is squared, whatever direction, whether to the right or to the left, so this will approach through what values, positive or negative?
Positive po.
So, it approaches positive values, no? So, as
Opo.
x approaches 2, x minus 2 quantity squared is approaching 0 through positive values. So, what is this? Positive infinity or negative infinity? Capio.
Positive
Positive
infinity po.
infinity because the numerator is positive and the denominator is always positive in whatever direction we have as x approaches 2 from the left or as x approaches 2 from the right because it is squared. Okay, guys? What about if I have this limit as x approaches, let's say, negative 2 of 1 of negative 5 over, let's say, x minus 3 quantity x minus x plus 2 quantity cube. Okay? So, since the denominator has an exponent 3, add, so expect that from the left, from the right, this will have different direction, no? Kung saan it will be going to be 0. Yung isa, maaaring true negative values, yung isa true positive values. Let's see. So, as x approaches negative 2, saan pumupunta ang x plus 2 quantity cube? Pag ang x mo ay, let's say, to the left, x is less than negative 2. Guys, through what? So, as x approaches negative 2, so from the left muna tayo. So, this approaches what? Guys,
Negative values.
negative, no? True negative values. Kapag naman ang x ay greater than negative 2, so yun yung mga negative 1.9, negative 1.8, no? So, this difference will be going through to 0 through positive values. When you cube it, it is positive, okay? So, x
Yes
plus
po.
2 quantity cube approaches through positive values. Therefore, our conclusion is that limit as x approaches negative 2 of negative 5 over x plus 2 quantity cube is what, guys? Guys, anong sagot dyan, guys? Guys,
Does not exist po.
so does not exist na? Does not exist. Kasi ang limit nito from the left ay what? From the left, anong limit niya? Guys,
Positive infinity.
from the left, so negative, negative, positive infinity, no? Yan. So, x plus 2, quantity, cube, negative, negative, positive infinity. Samantalang yung isa namang ito,
Negative infinity.
negative infinity. Oh, get it now, guys? How to write the proper sign and how to solve it properly. Equals negative infinity. Okay? So, what about if I have this, number 5? Let's say I have limit And as x approaches 4 of x plus, x squared minus 16 from the left, and I have 2x minus 3. Oh, what about that? What's the limit of the numerator, guys? Anong limit ng numerator? Is it 0?
5 po.
No, no. It is 5. Limit is 5. 2 times 4, 8 minus 3, 5. What about limit ng denominator? From the left,
0.
going to be 0, but through what values?
Negative values.
Negative kasi less ito kaysa 16, no? Kasi from the
Yes
left of 4, through negative values. So this is not indeterminate. So hence we have negative infinity. Is that okay? Is that correct? Is that correct, guys?
Yes po.
Okay? So this time yung numerator is not anymore constant, but the limit is what? Is positive. Therefore, this is negative infinity because the limit of the denominator is what? So the denominator is approaching what? Approaching 0 through negative values. Okay? Yan. So number 6, if I have limit as x approaches negative 2 of 3x plus 1 all over, let's say, x squared minus 3x, and then so 4, I want it from the right, 4 minus 4 plus 6 minus 10. Oh. What about that? Oh, let's see. Ano ang factor ng denominator, guys? Factor muna natin para madali nating magkumuha ng sign. X squared minus what? 3x plus 10 is equal to what, guys?
10 plus 10 po.
Ay, sorry. Minus 10. Minus 10, no?
Yes po.
Is equals
X
Oh,
plus
X
X.
minus 5. X plus 2 po.
X plus 2.
X plus 2, X minus 5 po.
Yan. Okay? So, kapag ang x natin nag-a-approach sa negative 2 from the right, this is negative, no? What is the sign here? Negative, right? This is negative. Am I right? Itong part lang na to.
Yes po.
What about this? Ito. Kapag ang x approaching negative 2, saan pumupunta ito? From the right. Approaching negative 2 from the right.
Positive.
Positive. Okay? So, this is going to be 0 through positive values na. So, ano yung magiging sign niyan? Negative o positive? Guys, ano magiging sign? Positive or negative? Going to be 0 through positive or through negative values?
Negative po.
Okay. Through negative na?
Yes po.
Okay, guys? Hi, guys.
Yes po.
Okay.
Yes po.
So, and what about the numerator? 3 times going to be negative 2 plus 1. So, what's the limit of the denominator? I mean the numerator, sorry. Negative, no? Negative what? Guys, yung 3x plus 1 approaches what? Approaches negative 5. Is it negative 5? Guys?
Yes
Yes
po.
po.
So, what is now the limit? Positive
Positive
infinity.
infinity.
Okay now? Is this clear now, guys? Guys, is this now clear?
Yes po.
So if you have a quotient, let's say limit as x approaches 1, and the denominator becomes what? Becomes 0, and there is no direction given, meaning the direction given for x, for 1, x approaching 1, both from the left and from the right, you have to check, no? Both the limit from the left and limit from the right. So because we do not know if they will have the same sign. If they will have the same sign, then you write what the common sign. So whether negative infinity or positive infinity. Pero pag hindi, you just put does not exist. For instance, if I have x squared minus 1, ang yung denominator, so ang numerator is, let's say, x squared, then plus 3, then 3x, so we have minus 4, minus 5. Let's see. The denominator is approaching 0. The numerator is not approaching 0, I think. 1 plus 3 minus 5, that is negative 1. Am I correct, guys? Guys.
Yes po. Yes.
So, from the left, ang limit niya from the left, as x approaches 1 from the left, yan. So let's say this is f of x, ha? So assuming this is f of x, I will just write it f of x, that quotient. Oh, what is the answer, guys? From the left. Oh, saan pumupunta itong denominator? Pag from the left. From the left, mas maliit dito kaysa rito, no? Guys? So through
Yes,
negative values. So positive infinity. Guys? Am I correct?
Yes
From the
po.
right, this is
Yes
bigger. So ang f of x natin, meaning this quotient, is equal to what? The limit is negative infinity, na? Kasi negative, negative, positive, negative infinity. Am I correct, guys?
Correct po.
Huh?
Correct
Yes
po.
po.
So therefore, what can we say about the original?
Does not exist.
So limit as x approaches 1 of x squared plus 3x minus 5 all over x squared minus 1. So this is another quotient that you have to take note when you are dealing with quotient. So dati ang nag-aano lang kayo, nag careful is about if the denominator is going to be 0 and the numerator is also going to be 0. So you cannot apply direct substitution rule. Okay, guys? So ngayon, meron ng another quotient, no? So ang numerator hindi nag-0, ang denominator nag-0. Therefore, so the limit, of course, maaring negative infinity, maaring positive infinity depending on the sign. So you're going to apply this principle. Okay, guys? Yan. Is that clear? So another one, we have what we call limits at infinity. Limits at infinity. So when you say limits at infinity, your x or your independent variable approaches either negative infinity or positive infinity. And we had this already in graphical form, no? Kaya lang graphical, we were just reading the limit. What about if you're given the actual function? So this will be the guide in dealing with limits at infinity. So if you have, let's say, a quotient, so this is another theorem. I got this from one book. I forgot the book. So if P and Q are polynomials polynomial functions of degree n and m respectively, n and m of degrees n and m respectively with a sub n x to the n and b sub n b sub m x to the m as the highest power term, or as the terms with highest power, as the terms of highest power of P and Q, again respectively, then the limit as x approaches a, as x approaches either positive infinity or negative infinity of P of x over Q of x is equal to the limit of a sub n x to the n over b sub n b sub m x to the m as x approaches positive or negative infinity. Okay? So what does it mean? To be able to get the limit of this, all you have to do is to get the term with the highest power, same with the denominator. And you take the limit of that ratio, and that is also the limit of this. Okay? If the limit of this does not exist, the limit of this does not exist also. If the limit of this exists, and it is equal to L, the limit of this is also it exists also and is equal to L. Okay, guys? And then another theorem, when dealing with limits at infinity, the limit as x approaches positive infinity of, let's say, x to the n is equal to positive infinity. Okay, guys? So what about if x approaches negative infinity and I have x to the n, where n is an integer, okay? So positive integer. This is equal to what, guys? Mr. Kitangon, what do you think?
Negative infinity po.
Are you sure? It is negative infinity if what? If
N
what?
is odd.
If n is odd, no? Is odd. Okay? Did you get that, guys? And then what about if n is even. Infinity, no? If n is even. Okay? Did you get that, guys? Where n is a positive integer. So dito rin yung n at saka n, integer. This is integer. Integer. Positive integer. So this is also positive integer. That m. Okay? Now, so let's say you're asked to evaluate the given limit. Limit. Call a name, please, officer.
Okay po.
Positive infinity of
I'll call Ken Cheng po.
4x cubed minus 8x plus 3 minus 3x to the fourth minus 8. By the way, I think I need to give you another one. Who did you call, Iho?
Ken Cheng po.
So another theorem. If you have a polynomial, guys, and x is getting bigger and bigger without bound, so the limit of a polynomial as x approaches either positive or negative infinity. So let's say I have a polynomial of the form a x to the n plus yan, a sub n x to the n plus a sub n minus 1 x to the n minus 1 plus dot 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 all the way to constant. The limit of this is equal to the limit dependent saan? Sa term with the highest power, no? All you have to do is to get the term with the highest power and evaluate the limit of this here only. Because this will dominate as x becomes very large, time will come, the values of the rest with the less powers negligible or will not really affect the value of this, okay? Is that clear, guys? At the very far, if x is very, very large, plus or minus, halimbawa, kasing laki na halos ng utang natin, let's say yung utang natin is x to the n, yan. Nagbayad kayo ng 10 pesos lang or 1,000 lang. O, wala. Pag ang x is very large, yung 1,000 negligible. So dito lang magde-depend ang value. Is that clear, guys? So meaning when you graph x to the n, at saka yung x to the n minus 1,000, at the very big values of x, they will have the same graph na. Is that clear, guys? Hi, guys.
Yes po.
Okay. Oh. Who did you call, Iho?
Ken
What's the
Cheng
limit
po.
of this? Limit as x approaches Iho. Oh. Positive infinity. So I can just get what? 4x cubed. This is now, sorry. It's not 4x cubed. What is the highest power here? Term with the highest power?
4.
So ito, no? So we will copy 3x to the fourth. And then the rest of the terms, you can disregard. But if you remove the limit, they are not anymore equal, ha? So the value of their limits are the same. If this will not exist, this will not exist also. And dependent here. So what's now the limit? You have a constant. Oh, I can put the constant out and take the limit of x to the fourth. Okay, guys? Oh, look at that theorem here. This is even and approaching positive infinity. What is the limit? Times -3. What's now the limit, guys? Positive
Negative
or negative
infinite.
infinity?
Negative infinity.
Negative infinity. Okay, guys? So, number 2, if I have limit as x approaches negative infinity and I have -4 x to the fifth minus, let's say, minus 1,000 x to the fourth plus 10 billion, kahit pa 10 billion, aba, hirap isulat 10 billion. Tama na yan. 1 million na lang. 1 million ba yan? Oh, what's the value, Mr. Officer? It is limit as x approaches negative infinity of -4x to the fifth. So you have x to the fifth. That is, in our table here or in our theorem, negative x to the n, x approaches negative infinity. What's the limit? Positive or negative?
Negative po.
So negative. So negative po.
Times negative din po. So that would mean it would be
It
positive
is now
infinity.
positive or
Positive
negative
infinity.
now?
Positive po.
Positive infinity now, okay? Limit of x to the fifth as x approaches negative infinity is negative. So times negative, so we now have positive infinity. Is that okay, guys? Guys?
Yes, po.
Okay, so we're
Yes,
now ready
po.
to have this quotient. Number 3, let's say I have limit as x approaches 4. As x approaches positive infinity of this quotient 4x minus 8 all over 4 minus 5x. One technique is to what? Is to divide both the numerator and denominator by power of x na highest, no? Highest power of x. Anong highest power of x na nakikita nyo, guys, there? Guys. Ha? Guys.
1 po.
1. So divide natin to ng each term ng x, no? So di-divide natin
Yes,
ng
po.
x ang numerator, di-divide din natin ng x ang denominator. So that's the technique. Okay, guys?
Ito
And then this is now equal to what, guys?
yung sa
Limit
incentive po, di ba?
as x approaches positive infinity, it is now what? 4x over x, that is 4. 8, negative 8 over x, negative 8 over x. And then 4 over x. And then minus 5. Okay? And then we apply now. Nag-exist na ba ang limit ng 4? Yes. Ang 8 over x ba nag-exist ang limit? Yes. So pwede nyo nang isulat yun ang limit ng 4 minus limit ng what? Yan. Pwede nyo i-split. Bakit pwedeng i-split, children? Dahil nag-exist na ang mga limit ng bawat term na yan. Okay, guys?
Okay po.
Positive infinity, x approaches positive infinity, all over. Pag naglagay kayo ng equal, igitna nyo naman sa fractional bar, ha? Yan. This is positive infinity. Yan. Approaching positive infinity of 4 over x. But of course, you can do it mentally. Pwede namang i-mental na. What's now the limit? Limit of 4 is 4. Limit of this, constant, positive constant, over getting very big, positively. Going to be 0, no? Okay, guys? Hi, guys. Okay, children.
Yes po.
Binigay ko na ba yan, guys? Yung ganyan? Di ba nagbigay na ako niyan? Ay. Wala pa yata. But anyway, so you know that it is 0. I will just put there. So if I have what here? So this is going to be 4 over very, very big. It is going to be 0. Then minus 5. Or what's the limit? 4 over negative 5 or negative 4/5. So it means that if we have, guys, so if I have limit as x approaches, let's say positive infinity, okay, of let's say a constant over, let's say a function. Yan, you have a function there. So constant, this is constant over function, and this is equal to 0 if what? If x approaches positive or negative infinity. Okay, guys? If x becomes large and this becomes large, either positive or negative, then this will become what? 0. Okay, guys? So again, if x approaches positive infinity as of c over f of x, and f of x is approaching either positive or negative infinity, as x approaches infinity, this quotient is 0. Special case yan, 8 over x. X approaches c infinity. Okay, guys? Okay, guys? Lagi siyang 0. Kung negative siya, guys, 0 ba rin? Kung nag-approach ng negative infinity at constant yung numerator, 0 pa rin. Okay, guys, ha? Yan. So we now have where c is constant. C is constant. Okay. Number 4. By the way, another technique to solve this, or di ba meron tayong theorem kanina? So limit as x approaches positive infinity, kitangon, what term am I going to discard in the numerator? Because the numerator is getting big, no? Di ba polynomial itong numerator? Polynomial
Yes
ang
po.
denominator? So guaranteed it will be infinite. Ang di lang natin pa sure agad kung positive or negative. But what we know, infinite. So equal na lang yan saan, kitangon?
Negative 2 po.
Hindi, doon muna sa numerator. Anong tatanggalin ko? Negative 8. Copy ko na lang si 4x, no? Dito naman, anong kokopyahin ko na lang sa denominator?
Negative 5x.
Negative 5x. O when simplified, it is equal to what? Limit ng negative 4 over 5, no? So which is equal to negative 4 over 5. Para hindi na kayo nagdi-divide. Yan. O number 4, limit as x approaches, let's say, negative infinity of 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3 all over, what about this? 5x cubed minus 3x squared plus 7. O, Mr. Officer, mag-ready ka na kasi, Mr. Officer, ng mga name to recite. O, ano ang ating pwedeng tanggalin sa numerator? Ano na lang what is left in the numerator? 3x cubed, right? In the denominator, 5x cubed. So this is now equal to limit of 3 over 5 as x approaches negative infinity. Oh, what's now the value, guys? 3 over 5. Am I correct, guys?
Yes.
O kung gusto nyo long method, divide every term by what? Yan, di-divide nyo every term by what? O, di-divide ko na ha. Yan, divide every term by, guys, by x cubed. So 3 minus 4 over x plus 3 over x cubed. Na? Yung ilalim, 5 minus 3 over x plus 7 over x cubed. Okay? So as x approaches negative infinity. So 3, limit ng first term 3, limit ng second term 0, kasi 4 over very big, whether negative or positive, going to be 0 also, no? Plus 3 over very big, so that is going to be 0 also, all over 5 plus minus 0 plus 0. Okay guys? So that is 3/5. Is this clear guys? Guys. Okay, what
Yes,
number
po.
now? Number 4. Number 5. Limit as x approaches, let's say, negative infinity of 3x to the 4th plus 7x all over minus 7 all over 2x to the 5th plus 2x minus 3. O Mr. Kitangon, what is left in the numerator?
3x to the 4th po.
3x to the 4th. What about in the denominator?
2x to the 5th.
What is cancelled?
It will become 3 over 2x po.
3 over 2x. So x is going to be very big. A constant over very big, what is that?
Negative infinity.
Going to be 0.
Yes po, sorry.
Okay. Kasi very big. Number over very, very big, whether negative or positive, 0. Okay, guys? Last one for this. Then trigonometric transcendentals na tayo. Positive infinity of square, negative na lang. Negative infinity of square root of 4 minus x squared all over 3x minus 5. What about these children? Sino pa ba yung mga nadyan? Guys, can you call name? What are you going to do here? Yan. Kapag ang loob ng radical is getting very big, negative,
Negative infinity po.
magiging undefined. So, ibig sabihin, plus dapat to. Okay, guys? Okay, guys. I
Okay
correct
po.
the problem, ha? Okay, now. Kapag ang x getting very big, so the radical is getting very big. What can you say about the square root getting big, na? Is that correct, children?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be very big. Positively, na? Yung denominator, going to what? Going to be very big negatively. Is that correct, guys?
Yes po.
So that is infinity over infinity form. Indeterminate. Okay? Indeterminate. Kahit pa positive, negative, zero, infinity over infinity form pa rin siya. Is that clear, guys? So anong technique niyan? So kailangan natin to insert this into one radical para makuha natin yung behavior niya. Okay, guys? So what we do, we have limit as x approaches negative infinity, i-insert natin ito sa loob. Okay? Yan. Pwede rin namang mag-divide tayo. Mag-divide tayo ng, let's say, square root of ng x. Now, pag in-insert ko, guys, yung sa loob yung 3x minus 5, what will happen, guys? Kitangon. Pag in-insert ko sa loob to, anong mangyayari?
Is square po.
Naka-square dapat, no? Kaya lang mas maganda yata. I think let me change my strategy. Divide na lang natin ng highest power, no? Ang highest power niyan actually is x, right? Na?
Opo.
No. Di-divide natin ang highest power, both the numerator and denominator. Yan. Which is equal to what? In terms of square root, yan. O, square root. Dahil para maging radical, mapasok sa radical. So, 4 plus x squared over square root of x squared. I think I need space. Then, we'll have now, yung denominator, ganun din. 3x minus 5 all over square root ng x squared. Okay? Oh. Pitangon, ano na yung magiging numerator? Square root of what?
Square root of 4 over x squared plus
4
1
over x squared
plus 1.
plus 1. Yung denominator, minus 5 over what? Ano yung square root ng x squared?
X po.
Well, you're joking. Negative x. Why negative x? Ang square root, remember, ang square root ng x squared ay equal yan sa x kapag ang x mo ay what? Positive.
Right po.
Pero kapag ang x mo ay negative, dapat negative x ang square root mo. Di ba ang ibig sabihin nito, positive number to? Positive number to eh. Kaya lang, ang x natin is negative, negative infinity. Mga negative ang x natin. Para ma-maintain mong positive to, negative ng negative. Okay guys? Ay, may maliwanag ba yung guys?
Yes po.
Yan, negative ha? Mag-iingat sa square root. So this is now limit as x approaches negative infinity of yung ilalim. Ano mangyayari sa ilalim? Open ko muna yung ibabaw ha. 4 over x squared minus, plus 1. All over negative 3 minus magiging plus 5 over x. Okay guys? O, ano na yung limit ngayon guys? Ano ang limit nito? 0, no? Limit of this, constant, 1. All over, so square root of that, negative 3. Is limit nito, 0. Oh, what's now the limit, guys?
1 over.
Guys, what's now the limit?
Negative 1/3.
Negative 1/3. Kaya pag ginraph mo yan, at ang x is getting very, very large, pumupunta sa negative ang graph. Negative 1/3. Okay? Naintindihan na, children? Oh, one more for this, no? Limit as x approaches positive infinity of, let's say, 4x over square root of, yan, 3x plus 2. Oh, what about this? Guys, ano ang limit ng numerator? Positive infinity. Limit ng denominator? Kapag ang loob ng radical is getting very big, the radical will become big also na. Yan. Okay guys? So this is infinity over infinity. Okay? So anong ipandi-divide natin, Mr. Officer? Sa both numerator and denominator? Officer. Ipandi-divide natin.
Nasira daw po mic niya po.
Ha?
Nasira daw po mic niya po.
Nasira.
Yes po.
O, di-divide ko ng square root ng ano no? O, square root ng x squared.
Sagot daw niya po divide by square root of x po.
Parang hindi 1 by 2. 4, ay tama. Square root 4 over, okay. Over square root ng x. Square root ng x ba ang pandi-divide natin? Parang square
Yes
root.
daw po.
Square root ng x. Ito, di-divide ko ng square root ng x. Pag dinivide ko ng square root ng x, ano nang mangyayari? Guys, 4 square root ng x. Kapag bang x, dinivide ko ng square root ng x, ano ang sagot, guys? Square root ng x? O hindi? 1
X
minus
po.
1 half. Ha? Guys,
X daw po.
yung x over square root ng x, anong sagot? Square root ng x, right? O di times 4. Okay? Okay, naintindihan ba, children?
Yes po.
O yan. So, ano ang limit ng denominator? Ang limit ng denominator ay nag-e-exist na ba?
Sir, may tanong po.
Ha?
Bakit daw po square root of x po?
Square root ng x.
Bakit
Para
daw po?
insert natin dito sa loob.
Okay po.
So, we now have 4 square root ng x, pero yung ilalim magiging 3x over x, so that is 3. 2 over x, parang square root yan eh. 2 over x. Ang limit nito 0, ang limit nito 0, pero ang limit ng numerator is positive infinity. So anong sagot niyan, guys? This is going to be not 0. 3 plus, so square root of 3. O, ang limit nito, therefore is what? Positive infinity.
Infinity po.
Okay? Actually, pwede kong kunin yung ano dito. Highest power nito. Ang highest power nito is what? 3x rejected. Kapag ang infinity, ang x is approaching infinity, ang square root ng 3x plus 2, walang pinag-iba sa square root ng 3x. Paras pa rin yun. At the very big number, they have the same behavior. Okay? Yan. Actually, pwede ko yung gawing 4, yung loob ha, 4 o magiging 4x over square root ng 3x na lang yan. And then you can combine. You will get the same positive infinity. Okay, so that's it. Then we now move to transcendental para tapos na tayo sa limits.